morning, children. Today we'll be starting geography portion. The very first chapter is resources and development. Children, when we say resources, so the products available in the environment which are worked upon by human beings with the technology available in certain places or institutions, now they get turned up into resources. Unless we put some efforts, that is, we work upon the available things in the nature, we cannot get the things converted into resources. Now the thing is that we have to work in a way that making of resource is economically feasible and culturally acceptable. Means that the cost of production should not be very high, so that can be affordable and culturally acceptable, that people are really willing to have those resources. Say for example, wood is the thing available from trees. Now if we work upon that wood, it will be converted into a chair or a bed or another furniture, then it can be called resource. This all happens once human being interact with nature through technology and make the institutions for our economic development. Now for economic development, again a very important point has to be added upon here: the efforts of our Prime Minister, the schemes launched for establishment of institutions to motivate local brands usage, and also the inspiration for the others for the usage of same. One has to be vocal so that globally the demand of our products increases and provides us better income, that is economic development. And above all, that making our country so-called self-reliant India or Atmanirbhar Bharat. It is the purposeful, correct usage of the things available in our country and get it converted into resources. Let us talk about classification of resources now. Resources are of two types, natural and human. Once we talk for natural resources, these are again of two types, renewable and non-renewable. If renewable, then it is continuous or flow. For example, you can say wind and water. Then next is biological. It is having natural vegetation and wildlife as its parts. Coming towards non-renewable, these are of two types, recyclable and non-recyclable. Further is human resources. These are divided into two parts, structural and institutions. Then quantity and quality. Here we say, when say quantity and quality, it is human being itself. Coming towards the further classification of resources, we have its division on the basis of origin as its first division. It is biotic and abiotic. Biotic resources are obtained from biosphere, that is human beings, livestock, flora and fauna. Abiotic resources are composed of non-living things, for example soil, rocks, metal, wind, etc. On the basis of exhaustibility or the limitation of use, resources are of two types, renewable and non-renewable. Renewable resources are those which can be renewed or reproduced by physical, chemical or mechanical processes, and non-renewables are which formed through only long geological time period and cannot be renewed. On the basis of ownership, we have four types of resources. One is individual, then community, third national, and fourth international resources. Individual resources are, say for example, farmland, water in the well, pond, etc. For community resources, we say the resources which are accessible to all the members of the community and are known as community resources. Say grazing grounds or burial grounds, ponds in the villages or the public parks. National resources are those which are under the control of the nation. For example, canal, coal mines, territorial seas, etc. International resources which are owned and regulated by international institutions. For example, say open sea, used for peaceful navigation, open sky for flight movement. These are international resources. Now the last one is on the basis of status of development. We have four types: potential, developed, stock and reserve. While talking for potential resources, these are those which have not been developed properly, means the resources which are found in a region in abundance but have not been developed properly. For example, solar and wind energy in Gujarat and Rajasthan, vast tidal waves in the coasts of India. Developed resources are already surveyed and quantified for the utilization through available technology are developed resources. For example, coal, petroleum, etc. Its availability and level of accessibility is decided. Then it is stock. The resources that have the potential to satisfy human need, but human beings do not have the required technical knowledge to use them. For example, you say hydrogen and oxygen in water. It can be a rich resource of energy, but technological know-how for the purpose is not available. Reserves are the specific stocks for which appropriate technology know-how is available. These are reserves. Moving towards the development of resources. Here, once we say development of resources means our survival as well as our maintenance of life quality, it depends on the resources. It is believed that the resources are free gift of nature, but if we overutilize the resources, it will lead to number of problems. For example, resource depletion will be there. Unequal distribution is there, which creates accumulation of resources in just few hands, due to which society is divided into rich and poor, the haves and the have-nots. Global ecological crisis also gets developed. Global warming, ozone layer depletion, environment pollution are the problems. So for this, we have to develop a habit of fair distribution of resources. It has become absolutely essential for the sustained quality of life. आपने पहले भी पढ़ा था कि सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट क्या होता है. एक judicious use of the resources so that we can save it for the future generations, and second was not to disturb the ecological balance. यानी ये दोनों चीज़ें अगर बनी रहेंगी तो हमारा सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट हो पाएगा. एंड दिस कम्स अंडर रिसोर्स प्लानिंग that is essential for our sustainable existence for all forms of life. Planning is what? Judicious use of resources. There are states in our country which are rich in one resource, though they are poor in the other resource. We have states which are self-sufficient in nature, and there are also which are having acute shortage of one or the other resource. Say for example, coal, water, solar, wind energy, rich cultural heritage. Here you find rich cultural heritage, it is in Ladakh. Solar and wind energy is in Rajasthan. They may be poor in some other resources. Now coming towards resource planning in India. Number of steps are involved in resource planning. Firstly, we have to identify, we have to invent, see where the resources are. पहले हमें पता लगाना पड़ता है, आइडेंटिफाई करना पड़ता है resources हैं कहाँ. और सेकेंड नंबर पे आते हैं प्लानिंग स्ट्रक्चर विद एप्रोप्रिएट टेक्नोलॉजी, कि उन रिसोर्सेज को जिनको हमने आइडेंटिफाई किया है वो कहाँ पर हैं और उसको किस तरीके से बेटर मशीनरी से उसको हम यूटिलाइज कर सकते हैं. द थर्ड कम्स मैचिंग द रिसोर्सेज डेवलपमेंटल प्लान्स विद ओवरऑल नेशनल डेवलपमेंटल प्लान्स. मीन्स यूटिलाइज कर सकते हैं मैचिंग द रिसोर्स डेवलपमेंट प्लान्स विद ओवरऑल नेशनल डेवलपमेंट प्लान्स. अब इसमें इंडिया ने बहुत ही एफर्ट्स किए हैं अपने गोल को अचीव करने के लिए. for this resource planning right from first 5-year plan launched after independence. इंडिया ने 5-year plans में ही अपने रिसोर्स डेवलपमेंट को और कितना उन्होंने उसके लिए प्रोडक्शन करना है, ये सारी चीज़ें मैच करते हुए इंडिया ने वर्कआउट किया है. जितना भी अवेलेबल रिसोर्सेज हैं नेसेसरी फॉर द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ वन रीजन, कोशिश ये की जानी चाहिए कि अगर वो रिसोर्सेज एक जगह पे कम हैं तो हमें उन रिसोर्सेज को दूसरी जगह से लाने में, पूरा करने में क्या टेक्नोलॉजी का इस्तेमाल करना है ये देखना होगा, जिससे कि हमारा इकोनॉमिक डेवलपमेंट किसी भी तरीके से नहीं रुकेगा. नाउ कम्स द लास्ट टॉपिक, कंजर्वेशन ऑफ रिसोर्सेज. क्योंकि कंजर्वेशन बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है, डेवलपमेंट करना है लगातार और उसके लिए हमें चाहिए रिसोर्सेज वो जो नॉन रिन्यूएबल हैं. अगर हम उसको बचा के रखेंगे, कंजर्व करेंगे, then only we'll be able to do our development. But if irrational consumption is there, or you can say overutilization is there, definitely it will lead to socio-economic problems and environmental problems as well. For this, the only thing is कि conservation is a must part. क्योंकि गांधी जी ने भी कहा है कि we people have enough resources for our need, but not for our greed. स्ट्रेस उन्होंने दिया था इस बात पे कि नॉट द मास प्रोडक्शन इज टू बी डन, बट बाय द मासेस द प्रोडक्शन वर्क इट हैज़ टू बी स्टार्टेड विद. नाउ कम्स योर लैंड रिसोर्सेज. लैंड, एज वी से, इफ इट इज़ अ नेचुरल रिसोर्स, इट सपोर्ट्स नेचुरल वेजिटेशन, वाइल्ड लाइफ, ह्यूमन लाइफ, बट लैंड इज़ लिमिटेड इन नेचर, इट इज़ फाइनाइट. करने ये सारे काम हैं कि नेचुरल वेजिटेशन भी तैयार होनी है, वाइल्ड लाइफ भी उसी पे रहेगी, ह्यूमन लाइफ भी इसी लैंड पे डिपेंडेंट है, लेकिन वो लैंड है कितना, और जितना भी है उसके लिए भी पीपल हैव टू डू केयरफुल प्लानिंग. नाउ इफ वी डिवाइड दिस टोटल लैंड पार्ट, इट इज़ ऑफ माउंटेन्स, प्लेन्स एंड प्लेट्यूज. कितना है माउंटेन्स? इट इज़ 30%. किस फॉर्म में? इन द फॉर्म ऑफ रिवर्स it is available. It is also benefiting us through tourism. For plateaus, it is 27%. What is there in it? Minerals, fossil fuels are available over there. And in plains, 43% land is available. इसमें होता क्या है? Agricultural activity, fisheries and industries, everything is there. If you notice it through a pie graph, it has been shown over here that 27 is P, that is plateaus, 43% is plains, and rest of the part 30% is your mountains. We have to utilize these mountains, plains and plateaus in a way that it fulfills our requirements. How we are to utilize this land? Further we'll talk about uses of land, uses, that is land utilization. यूज फॉर वेरियस पर्पसेस. क्या क्या काम आते हैं, क्या क्या काम होते हैं लैंड पे? फर्स्ट इट इज़ फॉरेस्ट. सेकेंड, लैंड नॉट अवेलेबल फॉर कल्टीवेशन, जिसमें बैरन लैंड, वेस्ट लैंड आ जाएगा. लैंड पुट टू नॉन एग्रीकल्चरल यूजेस, से फॉर एग्जांपल हमने कंस्ट्रक्शन किया रोड्स का, बिल्डिंग्स का, फैक्ट्रीज का. थर्ड वुड बी अनकल्टिवेटेड लैंड, दैट इज़ परमानेंट पास्चर्स एंड ग्रेजिंग लैंड. Second would be land under miscellaneous tree crops. And next comes fallow land. What is this fallow land? अगर किसी लैंड पार्ट को कुछ समय के लिए अनकल्टिवेटेड छोड़ दिया जाए so that it can maintain its fertility, that is termed as fallow land. You also take rest after working for some time ना, so that is what it does in you. आप दोबारा से एनर्जी गेन कर जाते हो एंड यू स्टार्ट वर्किंग वंस अगेन.